depend on us. The Morning Show with Jonny and Ken on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
Here we go.
Are you
Here we go.
You pumping yourself up right now?
Here we go.
Here we go. Come on. Hey,
Johnny has this thing where whenever he's about to turn on the microphone, he says, "Okay, here we go," and that's his cue to silence everyone.
You know, yeah. You know
and
why?
You don't even know you do it.
No, I do. I know
Okay.
I do it, and you know why I do it, because people don't pay attention.
That's true. That is true.
I constantly, I will put my hand, and people will
wait, I gotta finish my thought.
I will put my hands in the air and say, "Hold that thought. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Here we go." Okay, nope. Complete thoughts only.
Like Dak Prescott from the Dallas Cowboys, before every snap, he would say, "Here we go."
Oh,
but it didn't. The funniest thing was, a buddy of mine posted this on our on his Facebook page, and I thought it was hilarious. He said, because before every snap, you have these quarterbacks who are like red 41, 42, and all these different things that they say, those cadences.
Yeah.
Well, for some reason this season, Dak Prescott from the Cowboys would just say, "Here we go," and then he would snap the ball.
Oh.
Like he wouldn't say blue 42 or any of these other things. He would say,
"Really?
Here we go," and then snap the ball.
It wasn't a trick at all.
No.
He didn't use it to trick folks.
It was just he would yell like, "Here we go."
Okay.
And that was, I don't know why he did that. But the funniest thing, my buddy posted, he's like, "It's so hilarious. Dak Prescott says, 'Here we go.' And then he throws a pick six. Interception for a touchdown." And that happened, I think, twice on Sunday. Or
Couldn't
Saturday.
happen to a nicer team.
Yeah, exactly. That's America's team, baby.
Yeah.
But we are live on our X, YouTube, and Facebook if you want to come hang out with us there. Today we've got some cold weather. We've got a wind chill warning going on, or wind chill advisory, also a winter weather advisory, both of those continuing until 11 a.m. tomorrow.
Yep.
Some small bits of snow, they say, happening today, high 5, and then tonight, low of 0.
Yeah.
0.
Yeah.
But those wind chills, they say, could be between 15 and 25 below.
And for those of you who have not ventured out since Snowmageddon, the Snownami hit us late Friday or starting on Friday midday, it's decent out there. But if you don't have to go anywhere, I would recommend you don't, because there are slippery road conditions. Visibility can get a little bit dicey at times, especially in those open areas. And there are some amateurs out there on the road. I'll say it. Either tailgating or going far too slow and not putting their hazards on. So just be careful.
And you got the BMW, so you're just rally racing through the whole entire.
Well, I've seen enough of those drifting videos.
Yep.
You just.
I know.
No. I try to be as careful as possible.
Absolutely. Your closings, cancellations, and delays brought to you by our friends at Kepner's Precision Auto Crafters. You can find them at WSJM.com and on the app. Allegan Public Schools closed today, along with Bangor, Benton Harbor. Berrien Reset closed today. The Berrien Springs Public Schools closed today, along with Bloomingdale, Brandywine, Bridgman, Brookview Montessori Schools. Buchanan closed today, along with Cassopolis Head Start, Cassopolis Public Schools. Centerville Public Schools closed today, along with Christ Lutheran School in Stevensville, Coloma, Countryside Academy, Covert, Decatur, Dowagiac, Eau Claire, Edwardsburg, Fenville, Goebels Head Start, Goebels Public Schools, Grace Lutheran School in St. Joseph, along with Hartford, Lake Michigan College going virtual today. Lakeshore closed today, along with Lawrence, Lawton, Marcellus, Matawan, Michigan Lutheran, New Buffalo, as well as Niles Community Schools, Niles SDA School, Otsego, Our Lady of the Lake Catholic School, Pathway Global Methodist Church closed today, along with Paw Paw Public Schools, Paw Paw Senior Center, Plainwell Community Schools, the Readiness Center, Rivers School, River Valley School, and what else we got? Salem Lutheran Preschool, South Haven Head Start, South Haven Public Schools, St. Basil Catholic Church in South Haven, along with the St. Basil Catholic School. St. Joseph Catholic Church in Waterville Lake closed today, as well as St. Joseph Public Schools, St. Mary's School in Niles, St. Mary's School in Paw Paw, St. Paul's Lutheran School in Stevensville, Tri-County Head Start in South Haven, Trinity Lutheran School in Paw Paw, Trinity Lutheran School in St. Joseph, as well as the Van Buren ISD, Waterville Elite Public Schools, and White Pigeon. For that full list, you can find it at WSJM.com and the WSJM app. Let's find out what's happening in the news this morning.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
In the WSJM Newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg. In addition to the frigid temperatures outside, we've got other news. The Spirit of MLK Spotlight Awards were presented yesterday for all those who braved the cold temperatures and the wind and everything else to get to the community breakfast as part of the MLK Celebration Week. It's hosted by Lake Michigan College. Recognized for their work to elevate the community through their efforts and activities are Berrien County Commissioner Chokwe Pitchford, Niles High School student Ethan Reed Chambliss, and the organization Neighbors Organizing Against Racism. They all received the Spirit of MLK Spotlight Awards. LMC's Dean of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, Cam Harth, said the recognition shines a light on an individual, a student, and an organization that embody Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s spirit through their direct action throughout the community. Harth adds that the breakfast and recognition is just the beginning of the whole week worth of involvement.
So the community will have the opportunity not only to celebrate the breakfast and those individuals who are working and serving in the community, but also to spend time with those organizations that are there as resources that many folks may not be aware of. So we want to elevate as many as possible. As they say, a rising tide lifts all boats.
And for the description of why each winner was recognized, you can see it on our website, WSJM.com. There's a great write-up there. It's also where you can find the full schedule of events. LMC's MLK Celebration Week continues through Saturday. Congressman Bill Huizenga is seeking a break for farmers who say they can't afford the rising costs caused by federal labor rules. Huizenga and 74 members of the U.S. House of Representatives have signed a letter to House and Senate Appropriations Committee members asking for an H-2A visa guest worker wage freeze in an upcoming spending package. Huizenga says the adverse effect wage rate, or the required wage that farm employers must pay H-2A workers, has more than doubled since 2005. Making agricultural labor and its products more unaffordable. Lawmakers want farmers to get a break on the wage.
What happens is the Department of Labor goes in and sets minimum payments for farm workers and especially for migrant workers coming in as temporary and legal work visa holders. And what they've been doing is they've been outpacing inflation here. And there's some significant increases that are coming to family farms. And what we're hearing from farmers is they simply are not going to be able to afford it.
Huizenga says with the nation's average adverse effect wage rate reaching $17.55 per hour this year and other increased costs, including fuel and fertilizer, many farms are in danger of going out of business. In Michigan, the rate will be $18.50 per hour, while farmers in Canada pay their agricultural workers closer to $11 an hour. Huizenga says most of Michigan's congressional delegation, both Republicans and Democrats, signed the letter. He adds that he hears from farmers quite frequently here in Southwest Michigan who are concerned about the next migrant worker wage hike. In the WSJM Newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg.
Coming up here in just a few minutes, we'll catch you up with sports. Right now, let's find out what's happening around the nation and the world with ABC News.
Special report, the Iowa caucuses. I'm Dave Packer.
Special coming
report.
down the wire. Yeah, it's I was even watching the football game yesterday, and they had a cut in from the news team from CBS, Nora O'Donnell, and they did election coverage. So yeah, I was like, just watching these commercials, watching this football game, and then the Iowa caucus, and it's one of those that you're going to be seeing a lot of that stuff. And you might even see that during the Super Bowl. Who knows? Maybe there'll be, will there be political ads in the Super Bowl?
I don't know if they can afford that, but maybe.
I mean,
it's expensive.
It is very, very expensive, but
they have a lot of money.
If you buy one, one ad, I don't know what it's costing right now, but
let's say it's $1 million.
Which it's more than that.
It's
but
more
yeah,
than
say $1 million.
So let's say it's $1 million. It's not just the eyes that you get on the ad during the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
It's the run up to, oh, here's a sneak peek at this ad that we're going to run during the Super Bowl. So you get that press, that publicity, you get the ad itself, and then you get the post of, well, was it money worth well spent? How was it received? Did it fail? Did it flop? Was it a success?
30
I just look forward to the Doritos ads, by the way.
Yeah, those are really, they do a great job.
They do a great job.
And they do competitions and stuff like that.
Yeah. How much?
30-second ad. What are you thinking?
$3 million.
Right now, they say 2024 Super Bowl, $7 million.
For a 30-second ad?
For a 30-second ad, $7 million.
We have to adjust our rate card. What are we charging?
Oh.
No, don't answer that.
I can't. I don't know the answer. But $7 million. I can't think of even, the top candidate, Donald Trump and his war chest of money that he has for this campaign. I can't imagine even him buying an ad for that much.
I can see him or Joe Biden, and I bet one of them will.
Yeah.
And if you're Joe Biden, I think I would just use that 30 seconds just to look at the camera.
Yep.
Just see because then you don't have to you don't have to hire a script writer. You don't have to get a set. Everyone just talks about you just staring at the camera.
Well, you could do something like that because there was a few years ago, I think it was Miller High Life. Oh. What they decided to do was not buy one 30-second ad. Yeah. They bought 31-second ads.
How does that work?
It was great. All they did was because that was at the time where their spokespeople were the beer delivery guys. I don't know if you remember this, but they had a beer delivery guy.
Vaguely.
And he was hilarious and he did all kinds of fun stuff. And all he did was stand in front of the camera and just say, beer. And he just held the Miller High Life right in front. And I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was a great idea.
Yeah.
And you saw it 30 times over the
that's
the
really
course
good
of the
frequency.
Game. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and he did different things each time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he just either just stood there with the beer, the case of beer, or other different things. And yeah, it was 1 or 2 second ads.
That's funny.
So there's the idea there for political ads if they want to do something like that. But yeah, I'm trying to remember if there's ever been a political ad for a candidate. I mean, I'm sure there's other political ads through other different organizations and things like that buying them, but I can't remember a presidential candidate ad being in the Super Bowl because it costs so much money. $7 million. That's a big ask to drop that kind of money. But like you said, it's going to have a huge impact with a lot of people watching.
Oh dear. Yeah. Now I'm looking at there was one that aired last year and it was in a Senate race.
Oh, okay.
Is that right? No, it can't be right. I don't know.
Could have been in a local, because you have local buys too. I don't know how much the local ads cost.
Yeah.
But those can be very expensive as well.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Well, no, I'm sorry. It was 2022, not last year.
Teresa says, I loved the Budweiser frogs. That was the best. Yeah. But Budweiser's always been good because Budweiser was also the what's up guys, right?
Yeah, they did the was up.
Or that was Bud Light or Budweiser. I can't remember.
I don't know. But they have the horses, the Clydesdales.
Oh, yeah, the Clydesdales.
They've got the frogs.
Yep.
Who did Spuds McKenzie? Was that
I'm trying to remember. I don't know. Well, while you're looking that up, let's get back to the show.
Okay.
For local news today. And best of all, you don't have to pay.
Town Crier Wire?
Town Crier Wire.
Town Crier Wire. Light snow showers continue today. New snowfall today should be between 1 and 2 inches underneath some of the lake effect snow bands. High temperatures will be right around 5 degrees, wind chills 15 to 25 below zero. Tonight, still some light snow possible, will drop to zero. And then for tomorrow, partly sunny, a slight chance of snow. High temperatures getting up near 18. A meteorologist, Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Jonny and Ken on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
You should have seen it. And if you saw it on our our live stream, Ken got really excited because I just told him, hey, it's Tuesday. We don't have any guests today. Nothing lined up. So we got a lot of room to talk. So I knew you'd be excited.
My face lit up that much?
Yeah, it did.
All right.
You're glowing right now. But there is a lot of stuff to talk about.
That's just the cold. I was cold from outside.
Oh, yeah. And that's something that we've been braving the storms. And really, it hasn't really snowed a lot more in the past few days. You get a little bit here and there, but it's just been bitter cold.
Bitter cold. There's enough snow to put a nice little fresh blanket on stuff, so it's pretty. But I've been watching on the security camera here. There's the awning, and one of the security cameras is up underneath the awning, so it usually gets a really good bird's eye view of the parking lot. But since the snow came, the snow wall has been going lower and lower and lower. It's almost like a curtain now.
It's half the whole screen.
Yeah, it's taken over half the screen, but that's kind of fun.
In our list of things to talk about, you just have a list that says drizzly going away.
So
what is that?
Apparently, not only you, but a lot of other people didn't use Drizzly. This was the alcohol delivery service that Uber had.
Oh,
bought.
Okay.
It bought it 3 years ago for $1.1 billion because, the pandemic was happening. People needed a way to get their booze.
Sure.
And so they bought Drizzly as a way to spread out how they got their revenue. Drizzly was always kind of a business analysts say an odd match for Uber in that they didn't hire or contract their own delivery workers. Instead, Drizzly provided back-end technology that let local liquor stores provide for their own delivery service.
Okay.
But the bigger issue apparently was cybersecurity. Back when they bought it in 2020, Drizzly then confirmed a hack that exposed information on around 2.5 customers that they had.
So they were like a third party, sort of like the ones that shop for you at the grocery store, but they're not part of the grocery store. They're
right. It's a layover type deal. But on that security breach that exposed information on around 2.5 customers, they said that they had it. They confirmed it in 2020. But apparently what they didn't disclose was more important. They had a security flaw in the system for 2 years without fixing it.
Oh,
they knew it and they didn't fix it.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
That's not good for them.
Yeah. That was discovered by the Federal Trade Commission, but only after Uber had acquired Drizzly. And then it led to an order that restricted all kinds of customer information that Drizzly could collect and retain on customers. So in this day and age, audience data, collecting people's names and emails, it's important. I mean, it really helps a lot of businesses. And as a consumer, you really want to say, okay, I do want to be notified by these vendors. I don't want to be notified by these commercial entities. Drizzly was just restricted altogether from doing a lot of the stuff that they thought made them money. Uber said after 3 years of Drizzly operating independently within the Uber family, we've decided to close the business and focus on our core Uber Eats strategy of helping consumers get almost anything from food to groceries to alcohol all in a single app. So they're still going to do the booze deliveries. They're just getting rid of Drizzly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like they were doing the same thing with the different entity. It's like, well, that's part of, because that was I think a Super Bowl commercial. Speaking of that, not Drizzly, but the Uber Eats.
Oh, right.
There was a commercial about all the other stuff that Uber Eats does, which I feel like they should probably change the name.
Right.
Because that was the comedy of the commercial, because they were like, wait, I can't eat laundry detergent. I can't eat these Kleenex. I can't eat these random things that I get. I'm like, it's Uber Eats.
Yeah. What would you name it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you probably want to have it Uber something.
Uber Gets.
Ooh.
Huh?
Uber stuff. Uber. Super Uber.
Uber my stuff.
Uber. I don't know. I don't know. Well, we'll get back to the drawing board on that one.
Okay.
Some other things going on. You could probably get this delivered to somebody for Valentine's Day. The San Antonio Zoo is offering poop-scented candles for Valentine's Day.
Why?
Well, probably so that you can send them to somebody you don't actually love.
Oh, dear.
The candles come in 2 scents. Gentoo penguin,
Okay.
And chinstrap penguin. The zoo hopes that the candles will spark laughter and create memorable moments for couples.
Why are they limiting it to penguins?
I don't know.
I mean, you have to imagine
You have
animal scat has there's every animal scats. So
Yes.
why are you limiting it to penguins?
Which I love that you call it scat, because anytime you say scat, I just think of that doop dop beep bop boop bop boop bop.
You could have
Zibbity bop.
You could have elephant dung. That's like the jumbo candle.
Oh, that's a huge candle. That's like a long lasting candle, man. Or even just like a monkey poo. And that's just like that's more of a splatter.
Now you're just being weird.
Yeah. But no, it's right. I mean, it'd be a great way for them. Yeah. Apparently it's just the penguins.
I didn't know that penguins did that.
I've never seen a penguin poop.
That's what I would say.
Yeah. When I go to the zoo and I check out the penguins, I don't say, hey, look at that poop.
It must be white, because and when you see them in the National Geographic and everything's white. It's all pristine. You never see it. So it must be white.
Yeah. Where's that National Geographic documentary of all the different animals caught on film pooping?
Scatting, yeah.
I would watch that.
Yeah.
Or they're scatting. You just got a penguin
Beep,
jazz
bop,
band.
beep, bop.
Zibbity bop bop boop bop beep. All right. Well, we got a lot of other things to talk about here in just a little bit. We'll catch you up with sports, news, and your Bloomberg Market Minute. It's all next. It's the morning show on 94.9 WSJM.
At Sturgis Bank, it's our people that
Zibbity bop.
Well, so scat, when was the first time you think you knew of or started using the word scat in terms of animal do?
When you told me that.
Okay. And same here. But when back at one of my other workplaces, somebody who I worked with said, "Oh yeah, I'd like you to meet my colleague here. We call him Scat." I go, what do you mean you call him Scat? We call him Scat.
Okay.
Oh, okay. And I thought Bebop or something like that. You know, he's
like
Scat
he's
Man.
a jazz band guy.
Something like that. And he says, no, animal scat.
Oh, okay.
So I had to look it up, and that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it a regional term?
Scat? No, it's just another term.
Another thing that
I think
they call
biologists often use it when nature biologists when they're out there, and it's like, oh yeah, let's look for animal scat.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think I have.
Coyote scat, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, maybe I've heard that in nature videos and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's the National Geographic documentary of just an animal pooping in the wild?
I want to say there's beetle dung stuff.
Probably.
Beetle dung, because that's interesting.
Yeah, I want like that all those people that what's the guy that British guy who does really great
I know
documentaries.
what you're talking about. Yeah.
His brother, he's Attenborough, David Attenborough, I believe is his name. I would love for him to describe just an animal out in the wild pooping. I think it'd be great. I'd pay for that. I'd buy that on DVD.
You can buy that. David Attenborough, I mean, you can contract him.
Yeah, David Attenborough just does the super cut of animals pooping.
Yeah, he does a lot of the BBC stuff, Earth and Nature, and
his brother is
he's a sir,
Richard?
by the way.
Oh, he's a sir. Sorry, David Attenborough. I believe his brother is it Richard Attenborough is the actor, and he was in Miracle, the remake of Miracle, well, the multiple remakes of Miracle on 34th Street and Jurassic Park.
Oh, okay.
They're brothers.
Very nice.
The Attenboroughs. They're pretty popular guys.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Richard Attenborough. He also has other siblings, John Attenborough, Helga, and Irene.
How would you like to be the other siblings? Like, if you think about
and the other siblings.
Yeah, you think about all these big actors or famous people, even like the famous athletes. The Manning brothers come to mind, where you got the one brother that he played a little bit. He was a wide receiver, I think, played a little bit in college and then didn't really do much in I don't even think he went to the pros. You got Hall of Fame brothers, and then you're just like,
Or is it worse because sometimes you have a phenomenal talent.
Sure.
And that's your brother or your sister. And it's like, okay, they're special, they're gifted. That's fantastic. Yeah. I've got some of it in me, but I'm gonna root for them. Or you could be the other way of Billie Eilish and her brother Phineas.
Phineas,
very talented music mixer, producer, and all that other stuff. totally in the shadows.
Except for his solo work
Yeah.
is some of my favorite.
I've never heard it.
You got to listen to it. He is fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, he loves it. He loves being that. He loves playing the music for his sister, and yeah, I think he's one. Besides, like their parents, I think he's her biggest fan.
Yeah, that's good.
That working relationship is awesome. To be able to have that and to work with your sibling. But yeah, the Manning brothers. We'll say though, with all the Manning brothers, they're all hilarious because one of the other brothers, has been in a lot of the Caesar Sports like betting commercials, along with his brothers. It's great.
You don't know how many gambling ads I now have on my phone.
Oh yeah, you probably
because
got
of all the talk that we do on the sports stuff.
I bet on the Lions game the other day. I bet $2, and I made what would I say, $1.61? I think.
Did you make that much?
Yeah, I think I made $1.61 off of a $2 bet. So
how are you set for? Okay, let's start the slate clean at 2024.
Well, hang on.
We'll count your.
I have 10 seconds.
All right.
You want to hold that thought?
Sure.
You want to hold that thought? We'll talk about it here in a second. Okay. Let's do that. Speaking of money, let's check out our Bloomberg Market Minute.
Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
The Morning Show with Jonny and Ken on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
Good morning, right around 7:30. It's Tuesday, a very cold day today. We've got a wind chill advisory in effect until 11 o'clock today, and then winter weather advisory until 11 o'clock. Well, actually tomorrow. Both of those, wind chill and weather, both 11 a.m. tomorrow.
Yep.
So going to reach a high of 5 today, and then a low of 0. Wind chills 15 to 25 below.
Yikes.
We were just talking on our live stream about a little bit about sports betting.
Yes.
And how there's all the different companies. You said you had something you were going to say, but I left you hanging.
No,
so.
I mean, I don't know if you want to talk about it, but I think we should do a tally for the year. We could talk about 2023.
Okay.
Where were Johnny's, the positive revenue side, and where were the negatives? Because I still have this thing that, well, what would I say? Every time you want to do a sports bet, just give me that money, and then I will give you half back. Because,
but what if my bets are better?
Well, and that's why I want to see the balance sheet for 2023, and we could start fresh for 2024.
Okay.
Are you up on the year? Are you down on the year? Because you're betting big money. What did you bet on the Lions game?
The Lions game, I bet $2.
$2. Okay, so you bet $2.
Yep.
And you gained
$1.61.
Okay. Now, is that the only bet you've done in 2024?
No.
Oh,
because I bet on the Michigan game.
Oh, okay. So you won some money there.
I bet $1 on the Michigan game.
Okay,
and
so
I
you
think
put $3 down so far.
Yep.
How much have you made?
The Michigan game, I think I made a couple bucks on that one.
Did
so
you really?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Who in the world? You must have the silliest bookie ever, because everyone took Michigan.
Yeah. No, I've been on Michigan. I always been on Michigan.
Okay.
But no, I go safe bets. Like the most I think I've ever bet on any game was a few years ago. I bet on the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I think I bet $10.
Okay.
Maybe 15.
Okay.
That's about it. And usually I just pick like something simple, like the money line. And I think, if I pick the underdog,
is
sometimes
that next to the clothesline?
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
Sorry.
And so because I don't understand all the odds and I don't dive deep into all that stuff. So I don't want to risk it too much.
Well, I'll tell you the odds. The odds are you're going to lose your money.
Maybe. Or I'm going to gain a lot.
So my offer for you is, again, for 2024, if you want to, every online gambling thing you want to do, just give me the money and I will give you half back.
But you're going to benefit so much off of this because you're going to get half
but you
my
might
money.
lose a lot of your money. I'm saving you at least half.
So I guess it's somebody. It goes to somebody I trust better than just some random company.
We'll talk about it. We'll work it through.
All right.
Anyway, congratulations on winning the
Thank
Detroit
you.
Lions.
Thank you.
Are you betting on them to get to the Super Bowl? You can probably make that bet right now.
Right. Yeah, you could. You could do that in the beginning of the season.
All right.
Even. Am I betting on them to go to the Super Bowl? I would say if I'm betting, I'm not betting a lot because there's still a
What?
long
They're
road
the
ahead.
Lions.
It all depends on
All
what
right.
happens.
Okay.
The odds are right now, the odds are against them to go all the way.
Oh, they've got home field advantage again, right?
They do against
Okay.
the Buccaneers because they ended up beating the Philadelphia Eagles. They were going to get home field advantage either way
Okay.
because the Packers ended up beating the Cowboys. So they got that home field advantage again.
Nice.
So, yeah, I mean, having home field advantage certainly helps. But another team that has home field advantage is the San Francisco 49ers. They are in the playoffs still, and they'll be playing again next round. So
Okay.
we'll see. We do have a lot of closings, cancellations,
We'll put a
and
pin in
delays.
that.
Put a pin in that,
All right.
and maybe I'll give you my money, but
All right.
maybe not. Closings, cancellations, and delays brought to you by Kepner's Precision Auto Crafters, and you can find them at WSJM.com and the WSJM app. I know it's a long list. Basically, everybody's closed, but do want to get that list to you for those that you don't have the website or the app. Allegan Public Schools, along with Bangor Public Schools, Benton Harbor closed, Berrien Bus, Berrien Risa, Berrien Springs Public Schools closed, along with Bloomingdale, Brandywine, Bridgman, Brookfield Montessori Schools, Buchanan Public Schools, along with Cassopolis Head Start, Cassopolis Public Schools, Centerville Public Schools, Christ Lutheran Church, or Christ Lutheran School, that is, in Stevensville closed, along with Coloma, Countryside, Covert, Decatur, Dowagiac, Eau Claire, Edwardsburg, Fenville, Gobles Head Start, Gobles Public Schools, Grace Lutheran School in St. Joseph, as well as Hartford, Lake Michigan College going virtual today. Lakeshore Public Schools closed today, along with Lawrence, Lawton, Marcellus, Matawan, Michigan Lutheran, New Buffalo, Niles SDA School. Sego, Our Lady of the Lake Catholic School closed today, along with Pawpaw Senior Center, Plainwell, the Readiness Center, River School, River Valley School. The Salem Lutheran Preschool closed today. South Haven Head Start, South Haven Public Schools, St. Basil Catholic School closed today, along with St. Joseph Public Schools, St. Mary's School in Niles, St. Mary's School in Pawpaw, St. Paul's Lutheran School in Stevensville, Tri-County Head Start in South Haven, Trinity Lutheran School in Pawpaw, Trinity Lutheran School in St. Joseph, the Van Buren ISD, Watervliet, and White Pigeon all closed today for another snow day, which basically, for most, marking 5 days of no school, which is nice.
And I have a list. Maybe we can talk about this soon. I have a list of things that you might consider doing with your kids.
Okay.
That maybe you haven't thought of yet.
Ooh.
Because it's really cold outside. Usually you would just send the kids outside, go make a snow person or something like that.
Yeah, I was talking with Brock from the rock station. He's got a young daughter, and he was like, yeah, we might go sledding. And I was like, by the time you guys get out, then you bundled up, you bundle her up, you bundle yourself up, you get outside, you're guys going to spend 5 minutes out there and you're going to want to get inside. So I said, wait until like Wednesday, Thursday, when it gets to like 20, then you be good.
Yeah, then snow is going to be really good for packing. Make a snowman, make a snow fort.
Yep.
Those are fun.
So we'll get to that here in just a moment. But first, let's find out what's happening in the news.
WSJM News now. Team coverage from the WSJM newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
In the WSJM newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg. Here are some of the stories that we're following for you locally today. Another frigid day in southwest Michigan, and a caution, be careful if you brave the cold and enjoy the snow. Monday night, just before 8 o'clock, Cass County Sheriff's Office responding to a single snowmobile crash located near the intersection of Indian Lake and Frost Street in Pokagon Township. Deputies arrived on scene and made contact with the injured driver, 26-year-old Niles resident Chandler Plow. He was operating a snowmobile southbound on the trails near Indian Lake and Frost Street. When he lost control of the snowmobile, it turned over. It landed on top of him. Plow had to be transferred to South Bend Memorial Hospital for treatment of non-life-threatening injuries. Plow was wearing a helmet at the time of the crash, good thing, and alcohol and or drugs do not appear to be a factor in the crash. So again, be careful when you're out there, and good advice, wear a helmet if you're out there snowmobiling. Berrien County Jail had a brief boiler outage over the weekend, meaning no heat for a short period of time for the inmates. Berrien County Sheriff Chuck Hite says officers discovered an issue with the boiler in the jail overnight between Saturday and Sunday. It apparently stopped running because the fresh air intake had frozen over. It was up on the roof. we had all that wind and snow and
Mhm.
everything else. It froze over, shut down. Crews quickly repaired the issue, and the boiler is reported to be back in normal operation. During the outage, the temperature at the jail went down to somewhere in the lower 60s.
Okay.
The Iowa caucus results are in, and retired Congressman and No Labels proponent Fred Upton says time's running out for every candidate who doesn't finish at or near the top. He says, look for more candidates to start making an exit. We already saw Vivek Ramaswamy. He finished 4th in Iowa, and he dropped out last night. Other news coming up at 8 o'clock in the WSJM newsroom. I'm Ken Lundberg.
Dave Wolf has sports for us in just a little bit. We'll also check in with our friends from ABC News. Right now, let's find out what's happening around the state.
The Michigan News Network.
I'm Beth Fisher. We're in the ice box for a couple more days, and AAA has issued a statewide Arctic air advisory. That's as temperatures are expected to be in the teens and single digits with wind chills going below zero. It advises keeping your gas tank at least half full, making sure your battery is fully charged, and using a coolant that provides antifreeze protection. There are many school closings because of the frigid weather. Some fire departments in northern Michigan are reminding residents to keep their fire hydrants clear of snow. Lieutenant Justin Todd of the Cherry Grove Township Fire Department reportedly says, make sure the snow is removed from hydrants so they can be spotted quickly because time is critical in an emergency. The Fab Five.
Yeah, did you see the Fab Five showed up? Yeah, that was pretty cool. Ken did not know who the Fab Five were, so I had to
The
educate
Beatles.
the Fab Five.
There's
That was
the
the Fab
Beatles.
Four.
Oh,
Fab Four.
I thought there was one that dropped out early, and then they got was it George Harrison or was it Ringo? Who was the last Beatle
Ringo.
to join?
Pete. So do you know who the
I forget.
Pete Best?
Oh, I thought it was Pete Davidson.
No, different Pete. Yeah, Pete Best.
Was he a Beatle?
Yeah, he
Okay.
was a Beatle before they went big.
Okay.
Actually, double check on that
Okay.
because I know he was with the group, and I know that I believe they had a different name.
Oh boy, now we're going to get a lot of calls.
The Beatles had a different name before.
Was it the Sludge Muffins? I'm just kidding.
Might have been. I do know anytime I've watched documentaries about the Beatles, because there's a million of them. I like the Beatles.
No, there are only
I
4.
enjoy the Beatles. No, I mean, there's a lot of documentaries. Oh my God, get out of here. Time for you to go. You're getting slap. You're getting slap happy, man.
They went through a succession of drummers, including Pete Best.
Yep.
Before Starr joined in 1962.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And did that change the band? I don't know, but I think the drummer is that style of drummer, depending on the style of the drummer, that can change your overall sound.
And I think that was the issue, right? They didn't like nobody was keeping the right time, and Ringo was like, okay, we got this. And and it synced.
Yeah. I've always liked Ringo Starr.
Yeah, he's great.
I really enjoyed him in Shining Time Station. When he was a tiny conductor.
Oh.
Do you remember this?
No.
There was a children's show, I believe it was on PBS, and it was called Shining Time Station. Is where Thomas the Train Engine.
I love Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yeah, that's where he became part of it. And then they went off and did like Thomas and Friends. But when I was a kid, it was called Shining Time Station.
Okay.
And it had you remember the movie Grease?
Yes.
It had the girl that was the beauty school dropout, was a Frenchie.
Sounds right.
She worked at the train station.
Aw.
And then they had this like magical train conductor that would show up.
George Carlin.
And then later on Ringo Starr. And I was like, that is the
Oh.
greatest show because you had two iconic people.
Yeah.
Probably not really good children role models.
Who's to say?
I mean,
That's the funny-
Ringo more than George Carlin.
Well, and Thomas the Tank Engine, when it was its own show, George Carlin was a voice. Alec Baldwin.
Oh yeah,
he did it for a while. It was fun to listen to them.
But yeah, they
Great
would do a lot of that same stuff, but they would do cut-ins, or they would do go into the train station.
Yeah,
and there would be kids hanging out with the people that worked at the train station, including the tiny little train conductor.
How fun is that?
So yeah, Ringo Starr.
What are our people doing today?
Let's see.
Good morning, Bill. Good morning, Teresa. Good morning, Diane. Who else is there?
We've got Bill said, what do we hang on? Bill said I was working on it when we were talking about Budweiser and the frogs. He said, I was working on a race car that was sponsored by Budweiser, and I got some frogs.
Bill, at one point, I did have the opportunity to cover hydroplane races out west.
Ooh.
And Budweiser obviously played a huge role in
Of
that,
course.
and seeing the Miss Budweiser was something else.
Yeah.
Rooster tails a-flying.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I always wanted to do that. Those
hydroplanes,
those boats, all that stuff, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That looked really cool.
Very dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, boat racing especially, man, some of that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, there were a couple of accidents that...
It is neat to watch, though, to see how those things go on the water. Man.
Yeah, fun engineering.
Horsepower.
Fun engineering.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. What's the snowfall? Has anybody done an inch check on how many inches of snow has fallen in your backyard? I guesstimated. I didn't stick a ruler down or a stick down to measure, but I would say between 8 and 10 inches at least in my backyard. I kind of go by the height of the dog. If he can't, if
what happens if it snows more than the height of the dog?
Well, he has intricate paths and tunnels that I usually dig for him, because
he's like a prairie dog.
Yeah, when he was younger, he was very, very picky on where he would go potty.
Yeah,
and you would have to create all of these paths along the backyard. I mean, at one point, I almost considered just getting a snowblower for my backyard.
Yes.
So that I could clear the whole thing.
That does work.
Because he said, I don't want to go there. And then he would start to climb on the snowbank saying, well, I want to go over there.
I don't understand this. Russell does the exact same thing. We go out and shovel the walk.
Sure.
And we shovel an area into his usual spot.
Yep.
In the grass. Does he like it? He goes over and sniffs it, and then he jumps into the deep fresh snow.
Of course. And then you've got to clean them off.
All over the place.
It's not fun.
Why do they do that?
I'm not really sure. Yeah, I know some dogs that, they don't care, and they're very consistent. Like, this is my spot year round. I'm just going to go here. So hopefully you pick up the piles. But
it must be that I want to break new ground.
Maybe.
Yeah.
What I always liked about Plinko, in the summertime, is that he likes to poop on the perimeters of the backyard. So he doesn't just pick a spot right in the middle of the yard where you could step on it if you don't pick it up.
Yeah.
He likes to go right around the edge of the backyard, which is nice around the fence. So then when we clean it up, it's a lot easier.
Yeah. Or just push it to the side.
Yeah, basically toss it into the neighbor's yard is what I usually do. But no, we had because it's been so cold. I've had these things for a while, but it's been tough to put on his feet. But I showed you a picture of them yesterday. They're like little balloons.
Yeah.
Let me pull this up. Little balloons that I put on his feet, and I think they are a cool idea. Here, I'll show you a picture of it. I gotta exit out of there. Hang on.
Close your betting app. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Can't really see him, but he's got these little booties that look like essentially the big end of a balloon that they kind of trim off the long part, and you have to pull it over his feet, and then it's tight around his, I guess, wrists of his feet, and it works great. It's actually been working really well. He's getting used to the fact that what is this cold feeling underneath my feet that's not wet or sticking the snow, because the snow, that stuff gets in every
it gets
little
right
bit
in
of
between the pads. Yeah, and you've got to get it out because it just stays in there. Keeps them cold.
And
all
with
day.
it being so cold, I mean, I let him out without them even this morning, and I let him out there. I even timed it a minute. I was like, dude, you got a minute or you're going back inside. And it already had clumped into his fur. So those little booties, man, they work.
I like it. Where'd you get them?
Just get them at the pet store.
Okay.
I think it's Paws, PAWZ.
Oh,
because they want to be cool with the Z on the
end.
Yeah, it works good. And they have them for dogs of all sizes. I mean, you could get if even I don't know how big Russell's feet are, probably pretty good size. You might as well just put real man gloves on them. You'd probably be cheaper if you put regular latex gloves on him.
As long as he can still grasp the snow brush to clean off my car before I get out there.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's okay. I'll use it.
All right. We'll get to, in just a moment, we're going to get to some activities you can do with your kids for a snow day. Because I'm sure a lot of kids are getting
grandkids, nieces, nephews. Everyone's been cooped up for 5 days now.
Yeah. And it's been so cold, you can't do a lot of stuff outside. So some random activities that you can handle there.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll get to that in just a second. Check on the weather.
$1,000 and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
Light snow showers continue today. New snowfall today should be between 1 and 2 inches underneath some of the lake effect snow bands. High temperatures will be right around 5 degrees, wind chills 15 to 25 below zero. Tonight, still some light snow possible, will drop to 0. And then for tomorrow, partly sunny, a slight chance of snow. High temperatures getting up near 18. A meteorologist, Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Jonny and Ken on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
Yeah, I was curious about the snowfall, how much snow has been falling in certain parts of Southwest Michigan. I asked some people on our live stream, and Diane said at her house, I'm not sure exactly what town, I think she lives like Buchanan area, about 10 inches.
That sounds about right.
My house about, I'd say 8 to 10 inches. How much would you say in your backyard?
Probably same. I mean, it's tough to say because of all the blowing, all the wind.
That's true. Yeah, a lot of it's been drifting.
It's really because in my backyard, there'll be some areas where it's almost bare because the wind has blown it off. And then other areas I can put, 6 to 8 inches, somewhere around there.
Well, we've had some decent snowfall, and it stayed cold, very, very cold. That's why a lot of that is sticking around. And a lot of kids have had snow days with the holiday yesterday. And that honestly, if it would not have been MLK Day, I'm pretty sure schools would still have been closed because of the frigid temperatures.
Without a doubt.
So 5 days since, because on Friday, a lot of schools closed as well with the storm that was coming. Right. So 5 days of being home.
Yeah.
You're getting a little slap happy.
Little cabin fever going on.
Yeah. So you found a list of some activities to do with the kids?
I went out looking for what in the world do I do with my kids now that we've been stuck inside for 5 days list, and found some interesting things. When you and I were growing up and there were snow days, typically didn't come with the Arctic temperatures, and so you could go outside and play.
Yeah, every once in a while.
And the internet wasn't as proliferate as it is now with content. You didn't have TikTok, you didn't have the other things, and so now we have the advantage of TikTok, but you have to use it or the different video stuff you can get through video internet. If you use it in an educational way, it could be quite enriching. And so here's this list: visit somewhere virtually. You can take a virtual tour of many of the top museums around the world.
Yep.
There are a lot of different places that curate lists, or if you can just think to yourself, well, where do I want to go? Do I want to go to the Louvre? Do I want to go to the Met? What do I want to do? And you can visit those museums virtually. You can also go on YouTube and check out point of view theme park ride videos.
Okay, that's cool.
How fun would that be?
I like that.
I mean, you get especially if you have a big screen TV or a projector or something like that. It's like, all right, kids, we're going to go on a ride.
I was thinking too of the people that have those VR headsets. You can do, especially even the museums, like walking through an art gallery.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
There are a couple of the Harry Potter related stuff, so you can do some broomstick stuff. There's also national parks that have live webcams. On their websites, and so maybe you want to see Old Faithful erupt.
There you go.
So that could be fun. A fun activity. Sit there and watch it. Because you can set your time by it. You can set your watch by it. Other activities you can do outside of the tubes. You can start planning your summer vacation.
There you go.
You can make it a very democratic process, and then at the end of the day, you can be the dictator and say, no, we're going to do this. But let the kids think.
Yeah, they'll forget about it by summertime.
That they can help plan the summer vacation. Let's see. What else can you do? You can write your summer bucket list. When you're not
Okay.
on vacation, what do you want to do? You can make a photo book
I like that.
of things. You can pick a different topic. You can do vacation, or you can do nature, or you can do school or family or whatever. You can, what is this? Read a book. I don't understand that activity. What is that?
You know, and the one thing I don't notice on this list is there's no like do your chores that you needed to do, like clean your room, clean the basement, do those things.
The way they couch that is reorganize your living space.
Ah, yes.
So don't tell your kids you got to clean the room. Tell them, hey, this is an opportunity to reorganize your living space.
Yep, we're going to donate things, and the first person to put the most things in the box wins.
Yeah, yeah. You could write a letter.
Okay, I like that.
Or you could do some art, draw a picture. We did some art recently.
Nice.
Or you could interview an older family member about their past or their family history. A lot of people never find the right time to talk about and document stuff in their family tree or whatever. Great time to do that. A couple other things. You could bake a cake, check on a neighbor, or cook dinner together. There's a ton of stuff.
I love that. I love that. I love the talking to family members, because I know my mom, I've even said, like, we need to sit down one day, because there's so many things that, you know, in conversation, like as I'm walking out the door, I say something, and she's like, oh yeah, come check out this old picture of your great grandfather. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then she tells me a little bit about it. It's like, we need to sit down and just talk about all this stuff, and just sort of that data dump of things that your family members know that you should pass on those stories.
Absolutely.
Because so many cultures and tribes, I mean, there's stories that only exist.
That's right.
From person to person. So I think you need to get back to doing that. So I love those ideas.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there you go.
You could also do clean the baseboards. That's fun.
Oh, I love that.
For the kids.
That was my job when I was growing up.
Yeah.
So yeah, and the bathrooms. I'm a good bathroom cleaner.
Ooh.
Do I do it now as an adult? Not so much. Coming up here in just a little bit, we'll have your Moody on the Market update. It's the morning show on 94.9 WSJM.
Everybody loves a bargain. Say it. You love a bargain. I love a bargain. He loves a bargain. She loves a bargain.
That's a good list.
Yeah.
I always forget about the virtual tours of the museums. And I know they did that. They've done that for years, but I mean, even more so when the pandemic was going on, there was a lot more of the VR, like the VR experience of those different places, because you couldn't go to them.
That's right. The other thing that I really love watching and just having on in the background are the Tiny Desk concerts that NPR puts out. You ever watch those?
Mm-hmm.
The Tiny Desk concerts, those are fun.
Those are great.
I mean, and they play different versions of music sometimes, and it's like an unplugged session.
Yeah,
but it's really fun.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how that started. Like, who was the first artist to do that? Because it was just one of those, just like, oh, well, you guys want to play some music here and do that, and it's just blown up into this huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a great idea.
Let's see. The first Tiny Desk concert came about in 2008.
Oh, only that long ago.
2008? Yeah.
Yeah, that's not too bad. I thought it was even farther back.
I thought it was more recent. Frankly, I thought it was like a pandemic.
Yeah,
thing.
it only really became popular
during the pandemic.
Even before that,
okay.
But I think social media really made it blow up. So yeah.
Yeah, and then I mean, some artists unfortunately have passed away since then, so you have that captured.
Mm-hmm.
Mac Miller was a good one.
Jocelyn says, "Yes, Johnny, please bake a cake."
I know you're a big fan of the cooking and the baking shows and everything else. On one of those baking competitions, the kid had a 5 or 10 minute head start. That was his advantage. And in that 5 or 10 minutes, he was able to put a cake in the oven.
Oh, wow.
Made the batter from scratch, pour it into the thing, throw it into the oven within 5 minutes.
That's awesome.
So every time there's a 5-minute window, I say, Stephanie, go make a cake.
I love... Yeah, how'd that work out for you?
Doesn't work.
I love to bake, but Jocelyn hates it when I do because I make a mess.
Oh.
I don't clean up. I don't clean up as I go. I'm not good at that. So
gotcha.
I'm usually right afterwards. So it's just a mess.
I see.
All right, let's get to your Moody on the Market update.
Jonny and Ken on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
Want to know what's happening with Southwest Michigan, especially when it comes to business? We got you covered at moodyonthemarket.com. Our team of contributors always on it, bringing you those stories you need to know. And you can also check out the Moody on the Move series and our awards program, all of that at moodyonthemarket.com. Your update brought to you by our friends at Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owners agency with locations in St. Joseph and in Niles.
People on the move. Sturgis Bancorp announcing this week Eric Eischen is retiring after 45 years of service to Sturgis Bank.
Nice.
It's a subsidiary community bank. The announcement marks the completion of a planned succession process that began in July of 2022 when Eischen turned over day-to-day operations of the community bank to Jason Heiska as Chief Executive Officer and Matt Chesky as President and Chief Operating Officer. Now, Eischen, who retained the Sturgis Bancorp roles, of President and CEO, and added Sturgis Bank to roles of Executive Vice President and Chief Strategy Officer. He's now retiring from all responsibilities with Sturgis and its subsidiaries.
After 45 years,
that's a
pretty
long
awesome.
time. That's a great run.
Yeah, Sturgis Bancorp Board of Directors unanimously appointed Hiska as to serve as President and CEO effective immediately. Board Chair David Franks applauded Eichen's leadership, saying, "We owe a tremendous debt." Love that word.
Banks and
debt. Look at that. Of gratitude to Eric for his decades of service to Sturgis Bank and to our community. His leadership and vision have enabled us to grow in every sense of the word. During his tenure, we have added new banking centers and ATM locations, new products and services, and new employees to support new customers. We deeply appreciate Eric's loyalty and service and wish him all the best in his well-deserved retirement.
You can take a look at what he's done over his career, both inside and outside the banking industry. A lot of community involvement there from that Sturgis executive. And so just read about it. It's all there, right there on moodyonthemarket.com.
And your update brought to you by our friends at Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owners agency with locations in St. Joseph and in Niles.
We're watching over you. I am.
All right. Yeah. 45 years. That's a great run, especially in one place.
Yeah.
And they certainly have grown quite a lot, even in most recent years. So thank you to them.
Yeah. Let's see. Laura Gibson was the first Tiny Desk concert. In April 2008.
Okay.
I'm going to have to listen to that to see what that was like.
Nice. Yeah. I've always been a fan of like MTV Unplugged. That was a great thing in like the 90s.
Yeah,
that was always
good.
cool. And then the Tiny Desk concerts, those are always fun. What I also love is Jimmy Fallon and the Tonight Show and the band, The Roots. They do songs with children's instruments. So like random, like little kid xylophones and kazoos
Yeah, those
and
are fun.
little things they do. And they'll do pop songs.
Yeah.
And I think it's awesome.
Yeah, those are fun.
So, all right. Hopefully everybody else is having fun. Teresa says, have a great day. Stay safe and stay warm.
Thanks, Teresa.
Yeah, thank you for that because it has been cold. Like my gloves are not made for cold temperatures.
Yeah.
Like they work fine when it's 20, 30.
Yeah.
But when it's 0, they don't work so well.
Well, and you know, the difference between yesterday and today, I feel like the temperature today is so much more reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, we're getting
still
used to it.
Single digits to
we're
barely double digits.
We're going to be wearing shorts tomorrow because it's going to be 20.
Yikes.
I don't know what the wind chill is going to be. I know that advisory is still like till 11 tomorrow.
Boy, when it gets above
nice.
20, it's going to be a sloppy mess out there.
Probably.
Slush.
Coming up a little after 8 o'clock, Jocelyn and I were looking this up about because we know like salt and certain stuff, it doesn't really work in the cold temperatures at a certain freezing point. But I did find something interesting about something you may have in your home that could help melt the ice, and it's beets.
Beets.
So
interesting.
Yeah. So
I want to hear more about
people
that.
on our live stream. You'll have to go and listen to us on the radio.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about that in just a moment. Little after news and sports and all that. So yeah, but beet juice is something you could use.
So I love beets.
So there's your little teaser.
Okay.
We'll talk about it a little bit later, but you guys have a great rest of your day. And just like Teresa said, stay warm, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.